Hello, friends. This is Tony Dizant, space rocker of the planet Earth, back with another live video today. Hope everybody's doing good today on a Wednesday. It's gonna be a little rainy over here, but it's still gonna be good. And of course, I'm gonna give you a little bit of the not so fake news today. And actually, I'm gonna have to decipher them a little bit because they starting with that um, confusing people on the news and distracting people to go somewhere where they don't have to go. And what I mean by that is, for example, they had some great news about the advancement of a SpaceX uh, rocket today, even though the um, the booster exploded. It still was great news because they were taking some risks today on shooting this rocket up in the air because it didn't have any people in it, and so the fact that the booster exploded and all that, uh, they were they weren't expecting that, but they were ready for that if it happened. So that's the reason, because they were taking more risk than they usually would take if um, if we had humans on there. So of course, SpaceX is a company that heads Elon Musk, and then if you see the headline news today, they're talking about Elon Musk being disappointed about Trump's big beautiful bill, and that's just a distraction because Elon Musk wasn't at the White House today. He was taking care of his business, which is rockets and cars, electric cars, and so you couldn't be more off. And actually, the actual news were that Mr. President was gonna pardon some people today that did some bad things, and he was gonna pardon them. And I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but he's gonna be probably heavily criticized because of it. So that's the reason I tell you. Sometimes they you know it's not that they're fake news, it's that you have to learn how to read them, and you have to learn what's really going on, and kind of decipher what's happening. I mean, if because of course Elon Musk could have said he doesn't like the big beautiful bill, right? He just could have said it, or made a phone call or something, send them a text. But then again, they put the photograph on there like he was at the White House and all this stuff, because and that's wasn't no, he was in Texas, you know, taking care of his business. And of course, from what I understand, he's gonna be out of the White House, and he's not gonna be doing what he was doing before, helping out the president, because that only cost him money. Actually, it actually cost him a lot of money. So uh, he did what he could, I guess, and he suggested what he was gonna suggest, and now he got out. Um, and of course, um, a billionaire like that, soon to be a trillionaire, has to be on top of things. If not, he'll lose everything, everything he's worked for. Um, that's another thing. When you're in business, when you're an entrepreneur, you have to be on top of things. You can't be letting people trying to run your show. And he got a little bit distracted there for a few months, and did a lot of shows, and a lot of shenanigans with the president, but enough's enough, and he has to take care of his business. If not, he's going to lose a lot of it. And of course, that wasn't the only news. They briefly said that they captured um, a Gaza. They captured somebody from Hamas in Gaza, which was like a leader of Hamas, and that made the news briefly. They don't really emphasize those kind of news, but briefly they mentioned that, and we're gonna see what happens with that. But of course, I don't really agree with any of that. In my opinion, of course, terrorists are terrorists, and they're always gonna be that, and you're gonna have to see how you can handle it. But at the same time, not at the cost of killing women and children. And that's all I have to say about that. I'm not pro-war, so um, I really don't like to get into all those subjects, even though you have to be aware of those things happen in the world. There's a lot of things that happen in the world that we don't know here. They keep us blind. They keep the American people blind. So enough with all that rigmarole. Let's start talking about some things that actually make some sense. And I'm going to be talking about today about what you have to do to be able to keep your head above water. And what do I mean by that? It's the same subject about live within your means. Um, don't try to spend too much money, but in another way. And I'm going to tell you what it is. If you stick around long enough, you'll know. So what I'm going to call this video today is, let's see, not stay within your means, but um, keep your head above water, for sure. And let's see, I had it somewhere around here that I was going to do it, but these days I have to write things down. Um, let's see. Okay, if you give me a minute, I'll get to it. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. And what do I mean by that? These days is very difficult, okay? These days is very difficult because basically all you make, the government takes. If it's not the government, it's some other things, but there's so much regulations on top of us right now as US citizens that it's very hard to live in the United States without losing all your money. You make it and somebody takes it. And so what happens is, what you have to do is you have to make more and keep making more and keep making more and live in that rat race to be able to survive here. So what I mean by it's not what you make, it's what you keep. How you gonna keep your money if you have to give it all away on bills, on government regulations, on the cost of living, on food, insurance, whatever it is. So these days, even if you make $5,000 a month, it's still considered like you're just barely making it. And I know some of you don't even make that. So I don't even know how you guys live. But if you make like $5,000 a month in the United States, it's probably going to go away in different things, whether it is food, rent, car payment, or whatever. So when I say it's not what you make, it's what you keep, sometimes you have to go and live without. And that's why this generation right here is been very criticized, especially millennials and then millennials. They're very criticized because some of them still live with their parents. And I can see why. I can see why some of these kids, they go to school, and when they get a job, they don't get the job they need to survive on their own. So they still have to come back and live with their parents. So what I'm saying is this: it's not what you make, it's what you keep. That's when you're gonna have to start saying, okay, if I can afford a car, maybe I should ride a bike. You heard me. If I can afford a car, maybe I should ride a bike. Maybe I should have a job that is close to my house. Maybe I shouldn't have a house. Maybe I shouldn't have an apartment. Maybe I should live with my parents and help them with the mortgage or give them $500 or whatever. Or maybe I should live with some other people and split the rent and pay like $500 for a room. But if you have a salary that is, say, let's say for example, like $3,000, that's not gonna be much. You're gonna have to live within those $3,000, and you wanna keep some of that money so you can save, invest for the future, and do all that good stuff. And how are you gonna do all that if you have all these debts? Well, the thing is this: you have to do without. In the beginning, you have to do without. And you have to figure out some things. And sometimes you don't want to get along with your parents, but you have to get along with your parents. You have to make it happen because it's just not feasible for you to be on your own. And of course, let's say you make, for example, $4,000, but in the first 5 years, you start putting some of that money away, you start investing, and you start making some other money by investing, by saving, and just write it out, and wait. That's a great idea. So basically what I'm saying is this: you have to live within your means in the beginning and not get all excited about having this and having that. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. And it's getting really hard here in the United States to keep money. But you have to try to figure it out. And with this one, I'll say hi to everybody. I want to say hi to all the people around the world that follow my videos and follow my music. I know who you are, and I really appreciate it. And I'm glad you're having patience with me because I go on here on script, live, and I don't even know what I'm talking about in the beginning, but I have an idea. But at the same time, I know I want to say something to you and I want to give you some advice. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. So try to keep making money, but keep it. This is Tony Dizant, space rocker of the planet Earth, still living in this beautiful planet called Earth. Today, with the message of it's not what you make, it's what you keep. I'll see you on my next video.